So you might have noticed that for the past 2 weeks, I think, it's gotten pretty quiet on my channel. It's gotten pretty quiet. There's not too many videos out there. And I would love to tell you that I'm just working tirelessly on the new videos. But the truth is, I'm feeling like shit lately. I'm feeling like ass. And I wanted to give you guys a bit of an insight into all of this. This is not your usual ESO video, right? So if you are on the channel because you want to see ESO content, then there's plenty of ESO content coming up. But today, the focus is a bit different. Today is the focus on mental health. I'm gonna probably put some footage of gameplay or so in the background, so you have something to watch, or you can just listen in. I'm kind of raw dogging this. Doesn't really have a point in making a script for this. Yeah, for the past 2 weeks, I've been noticing a decline in my mental well-being. And usually I have a pretty good understanding of why. So I started therapy when I think it was 22. And ever since then, I'm 27 now, I'm turning 28 in 3 days. I went through a lot of therapy, a lot of reflecting with myself, dealing with things that I previously wasn't able to deal with. So I think I have a pretty good understanding of myself, my emotional world, right? How I feel, what I feel, how I can deal with it, what I can do to help me, right? So when in the last 2 weeks I was not feeling well, I was a bit confused by this, because usually I do know what's up. Usually I do, maybe not right away, right? But usually I go into myself, meditate a little bit, maybe turn off all the screens and whatnot, and just think, right? Try to feel. But this time it didn't really happen. That didn't really work for whatever reason. And this made me very anxious, because when I'm not aware of what is going on, I'm always afraid that I'm missing something. I'm always afraid that I'm missing an emotion or some sort of issue that I should be dealing with, and I'm subconsciously putting it away. Because I did this in the past, as a matter of fact. But would probably be a bit out of scope for this video, right? But for the people who are watching the stream frequently, I've been talking about mental health quite a bit there. But essentially, I've been coping in a way that wasn't healthy for me, and I wasn't even aware of coping, right? So I am hypersensitive in terms of putting thoughts that I should address away without even realizing. So I was very anxious about this fact that I was feeling odd. Because usually this is an indication of, okay, something is array. Something is array, right? Something is array, and I should take note and I should figure out what it is. And this time, that didn't work. So in a way, this was a huge setback, right? Maybe you guys remember we broke up, my ex-girlfriend and I, in November. Then I had this sort of glow up, right? I was facing the anxiety disorder. I was going outside again. I was making huge progress. I was meeting with friends in the coffee place. I even was in the city center for the first time in 2 years. I went grocery shopping again. I was out frequently. My anxiety disorder was still present, don't get me wrong. It was always hard doing it, but I was doing it, right? And for the past 2 weeks, I've been slacking rather, and dealing with setbacks. If you are someone who's dealing with mental health issues, dealing with setbacks, you might be able to relate, is kind of, in my opinion, maybe one of the hardest parts of mental health issues. Because in my instance, with the anxiety disorder, I was making huge progress, and suddenly I'm a few steps behind again. So things that I have been dealing with in a better way already suddenly become worse again. And this sort of setback is something that is very, very hard to accept, okay? It's very hard to deal with this, to accept, okay, things are going worse again. And I'm right now still trying to accept that fact and try to figure out what I need to do to overcome this. And yesterday I took like another 10 minutes of thinking about this kind of stuff. What's going on with me? What is it, right? So I was going through my life. I was going through what I am doing in my life. And because I have been through therapy essentially like for 4 years or so, my therapy has ended in, what was it, 2022, I think? Or 23? I'm not even sure anymore, sorry. But it's been a while since I was in therapy, right? And I learned a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things about myself and how I can deal with a lot of things that help me. So I was going through the things I'm doing currently in my life, right? So I have a sleep schedule that's kind of working. I eat frequently, 3 times a day. I try to eat fruit every day, that's important. I do try to do some workout. I sleep well. I keep my apartment clean, I keep myself clean. You might notice that my hair is a bit shorter. I cut this myself, looks like shit, but whatever, I don't care. It's gonna regrow anyway, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, okay, I mean, the basics, I'm nailing them. I'm nailing them, so I shouldn't be feeling how I'm feeling right now. And then I realized, hey, you know what? I think it's just depression. I think it's just depression. And I'm saying just depression because it makes sense right now, right? It's winter. It's hella gray all the fucking time. And usually I'm supplementing myself with these vitamin D thingies here, right? The unfortunate truth though is that they have magnesium in them. And apparently when you have a magnesium overdose, your body doesn't really like that, and you get the you're on the toilet a lot, right? So I had to stop taking them. So I'm probably right now in a severe vitamin D deficiency, which can lead to depression or an increase in the depressive symptoms, right? So figuring this out was a good start, because knowing what's going on is very, very helpful for me, and perhaps for you as well. I don't know how many people are watching this that do face with mental health issues themselves, but what I can tell you is, if you are feeling that something's not going right in your mental state, and you are unsure what it is, but you're also kind of afraid to look, let me tell you, it is easier to know what's going on than to try to push it away, because I'm telling you something, it's not gonna go away. I know you want to, it's not. It is not gonna go away. It's not magically disappear, right? That's not gonna happen. I'm sorry to take this illusion from yourself, but I tried. Trust me, I tried. It doesn't work. And what I learned though is accepting that something is going on. Maybe you already know what is going on. Accepting that it is there, accepting that it is present, and accept that it does influence your life is a hell of a lot easier than dealing with this ominous sense of dread or fear or whatever it is, right? So I can only encourage you to look into yourself and see what it is. It's scary as hell. I know that. It is scary as freaking hell. But it's better. It is the better option between pushing it away and accepting it. Acceptance is, I'd say, probably one of the most important factors of mental health issues. For anxiety disorders, in my case, for instance, when I first had these symptoms, I was trying to rationalize them. I was trying to rationalize fear. I was like, I don't have a reason to be afraid. And that is true. Don't get me wrong, it is true. I don't have a reason to be afraid. There was this time where I was standing on my front door, and I was like, it doesn't make sense, bro. Lamer, it doesn't make sense. You have no reason to be afraid. Everything's fine. But this is the wrong approach. What I had to accept at some point is the fear is real. the fear exists. Whether or not it can be rationally explained, usually it isn't. You can't. Whether or not you want that, accepting it is a good way to start out with everything. So if you are on mental health issues right now, I highly encourage you to accept that it is there. And you will notice pretty much within a week that you will already feel better about this, because when you accept it, you don't constantly try to fight it. And this is a hard thing to master, right? Because you don't, at the same time, you don't want the mental health thing to completely take over, but you also don't want to push it away so it doesn't have relevance. So we have these two sides, right? This is where the mental health completely takes over, and this is where you take it completely out of your mind, or try to. And in the middle, there's you. And you have to try to navigate between these two camps, to give every part of these a bit of space, right? So it is true, you have to accept your mental health issues, if you have any, but it is also true that these are not always controlling you, all right? You in the middle are the one, maybe the ones if you're schizophrenic, I don't know, that have control. And you will lose sometimes. You will lose. It's fine. You will lose. I lose all the time. I lose every fucking time. But losing is not an issue. Losing is not an issue. It's okay if you lose. It's okay if you don't manage to take control that day. It's completely fine, man. And it's even, maybe it's even completely fine if you don't take it for a week or two, whatever. What you have to do though is trust in yourself, trust in your capabilities, that there will be a day where things will be different, all right? And this is something I'm trying to memorize right now is trust and letting go. Trust and letting go. Very hard things for me personally. So trust refers to the fact that I trust in my own abilities, and letting go refers to the fact that I don't have to constantly think about the mental health stuff. So for me, that's very hard, right? I've made that experience quite a lot in the last few years, that whenever I feel like hella down, like weeks, and I'm like, oh, geez, I feel so shit. I made that experience over and over and over and over again, that at some point I get out of it. At some point there is some sort of energy or some sort of change within me that realizes, okay, this is different now, I feel different, I did this, so I feel better. And it's gonna happen to you as well. So don't get encouraged by this. So, that's a bit of what's going on with me lately. I could go into a lot of depth into this. I could tell you essentially my whole life story, but nobody's gonna want to hear that, right? So I'm trying to give you a bit of an insight right now of what's going on the channel. There are ideas I'm working on. Of course, the refining data drop rate video, I didn't make any progress in the last 2 weeks, unfortunately, or like 1.5 weeks, I'd say. There is a video I'm planning for that's a bit of a broader subject, referring to Elder Scrolls Online's PR and how they present the game, because I think there is a lot lacking there, and I want to do like a short little essay. I already started a bit of keynotes and script. We will see that sometime. I mean, not in January anymore, I believe. Probably like February, I think. So I am in this state right now where I think I realized it is just right, depression. And that takes a bit off my shoulders, right? Because the winter depression, I think many of you people face that. And for people who are suffering from depression to begin with, this hits extra hard, right? Because we are not able to compensate that easily. So if you feel like you have winter depression right now, and it's worse than your usual depression, makes sense, doesn't it, man? Doesn't it? I mean, look at the world events right now. How can you people like Roman salutes suddenly, I guess, again. It's not funny, I know, but it's the only thing I can do, right? I can only cope with humor, I guess. I'm not even from the US, right? And I'm scared for you, folks. Scared for you. I'm sorry. I was making fun of you the whole time, but now I'm actually scared for you. So how can you not be in a state of dread? But to keep this a bit more positive at the end of the day is, and it's a bit of a, what your 60 plus daughter, not daughter, not daughter, your uncle, whatever, tells you like, yeah, you have to just go outside and the sun's gonna come back and it's gonna be fine. You just have to work out. Your depression's not even existed. I know, but it's true though that spring will come, right? Spring will come. The sun will come out again and your vitamin D battery is gonna go up here. And that changes a lot and it will happen, all right? So hold on, hold on. I'm in this too, right? I'm just some random dude who does ESO content, who would like to do this for a living at some point with streaming combined, who's facing anxiety disorder and depression at the same time for years now. Which always leads to the fact that when I start streaming, I'm always anxious. The first 10 minutes, I feel like I'm shitting myself. No cap. It's like this, right? I start sweating every stream. I've been streaming like what, 20 times by now? It's still happening. It is. And I'm trying to go through this, so you're not alone in this, all right? I'm not some kind of dude who's always funny, who's always making jokes, and who's always in a good mood. I'm not. You only see this one side of me, and today you saw a bit of a different side of me, I guess. I can't really take you into everything because it's just not possible, right? But here we are. I'm the casual lamer who's facing with issues a lot. And I'm trying to figure everything out. And I'm turning 28. And sometimes I'm feeling like, man, I'm 28, bro. Are you not supposed to have life figured out by now? And maybe you're even older if you're watching this, or younger, whatever. What I'm trying to say to you is, you don't have to care about how old you are. If you're having issues, you're having issues, so that's that. It doesn't matter if you're 60, it doesn't matter if you're 21, whatever. You're having issues, you're gonna deal with them, it's gonna happen. And don't compare yourself with the progress or the career with other people. It only makes you sad, it only makes you feel inferior. It doesn't always work that you don't do it. It doesn't always work. Maybe you are someone who's like, yeah, okay, that lamer, he has anxiety disorder and depression and stuff, but he still dares to go in front of camera and talk about this in his not native language and post it on YouTube for at least 7 people to see. But yeah, that's a different approach. Maybe you do other things differently or better than I'm not able to. Maybe you can go outside without any issues. I can't. So don't compare yourself with me. Don't compare yourself to others. It will only make you unhappy. It will only make you sad and feel inferior. If you need something that helps you right away, delete Instagram, delete TikTok, delete all the social media. Just delete it. Just go out with it. If there is contact with people that you all want to keep, say them, hey, I'm gonna delete Instagram, whatever, here's my number. If you want to stay in contact, just text me there. If they don't want to text you there, well, maybe that relationship to that person wasn't even worth it to begin with, right? So that's something that immediately helps. Also, what immediately helps, don't doom scroll in the morning when you get up. Don't look at your phone and go into Reddit or what. I did that a whole of a lot. Try to keep the screens out as far as possible as you can. Personally, I can't really because there is a TV, there is a screen for a computer. I'm like on the PC like 10 hours a day. This is also, well, it's a natural conclusion when you have anxiety disorder and you work on YouTube, right? I wouldn't be on 10 hours off. It would just be 9. It's a joke, but it's also true. We are 20 minutes in right now, folks. Probably like 80 when I cut it down to the breaks and stuff. Yeah, it's not just for you, right? It's not just for you that I'm talking about this. It's also for me. Because talking about this helps. And I kind of hope that some things in this help you too, right? I always wanted to be transparent with everything, right? I'm trying to be transparent with my earnings. I'm trying to be transparent with my life, my mental health issues. I want to address this. I don't want to be like, yeah, I do have that, but I'm not going to talk about it. Because it's just, if I want it or not, it's part of my personality, unfortunately. It is what it is. An illness or two illnesses, whatever, are part of my personality. It's what it is, right? And I don't want to have this as a sort of taboo subject, right? Of course, we have to navigate a bit through some words, maybe like offing yourself words like these you can't really use on YouTube, right? But personally, for me, that's not an issue. I'm fortunate enough that I never have these thoughts. So at least I have that going for me. There's plenty to be grateful for. It's not always easy to see it, though. I get that. So don't feel bad if you're not able to do that. Yeah, and with that, if you made it this far, you might be interested in more content from me. Maybe. In the description, this is down there, right? There's a Twitch link, so if you want to see the streams, you can follow over there. If you don't want to see streams, and maybe you want to become a channel member on YouTube, that helps me out a lot. Actually, no idea. You have no idea how much that helps me out, right? And if you don't want to spend anything, just like the video maybe and subscribe to the channel if you want to see future stuff. And yeah, with that, I hope you have an awesome day. No, wait, what's my outro? I hope you have a great day. I hope you have an awesome day. You take care of yourself. Especially important, right? Take care of yourself. Be nice to yourself. This is something my therapist told me. Be nice to yourself. I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized I'm not really nice to myself. So do that. You take care of yourself. And I will see you next time.